when you say art, like your desire to do art, what does art mean to you?
So that was a big part of me being a furry too, is I also made fursuits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
Wow.
my ex and I ran a business and we had commissions.
Oh, wow.
And like there are people out there who are wearing my things that I made.
How cool.
And I made my own fursuits and stuff, but I loved just like the physical like craftiness of it, just like, you know, sewing and gluing the foam and then now with drag, it's, you know, some of it's, you know, costume making and then also makeup. Like I like just sitting at home and just like painting my face, you know, like just but like and because like I can do things on my skin and like, you know, it's art and then also with dance, and now with like this virtual, you know, drag age, I can now tell stories visually, like with cuts and edits and stuff. And because I'm part of this drag competition right now, and it's just like I've really like tried to push myself to be better with like my storytelling.
Oh, good.
Yeah, just because like, yeah, it's like you know, you don't just have to set up a camera and dance in front of it and like, oh, that's your virtual drag. Like you could do so much more with it. And I'm really just, yeah.
Do you feel you have any sort of signature style of your drag? Is there a through line through all your drag, whether it's look or performance style or anything that you feel is like signature Christopher Allure?
The first thing that immediately pops into my brain is fishnets. Like my fishnets, I always wear my fishnets, and I have these heel black boots that I love, though I want to branch out, but like shoes are hard because I've got big feet. I do a lot of like sort of like, you know, like early 2000s, like emo boy, like, you know, that sort of music, like you know, like Panic at the Disco and Plain White Tees and All American Rejects. I have a number that I really like, the Matchbox 20 song. Like that sort of vibe, I guess, is what I've kind of been doing, what I've stuck to. Also, I try to put political activism into my drag as well, wherever and whenever I can. I have a t-shirt that I made that says trans rights are human rights and fuck Trump on the back that I've worn to quite a few shows. And I did a trans thing at the Ghouls and Gays show in October, with the Mulan song Reflection, and, you know, and to be a man, and I pulled a trans flag out of my cleavage and it was great. And but I try and make, if I'm not just like being a fuckboy on stage, like I'm trying to make it mean something. I think that's like that's like where my two sides is, like it's like fuckboy, like 303 and Panic at the Disco, and then like, hey, I'm here, I'm queer, and I'm angry. That's like my two sides.
Yeah.
And also fishnets.
Perfectly appropriate. Ooh, yeah, the cliche interview was, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Oh.
Well, hopefully, you know, being able to do more stuff with, I want to produce shows. You know, I want to help build and cultivate the drag community, and like find, you know, more voices, and just try and have a platform for more diverse drag, and, you know, more opportunities for more performers, and just try and create, you know, spaces for people, because, like, you know, I've been involved with a lot of GSAs, as I've mentioned. You know, when I went to when I was living in Hayes, I was at the Fort Hayes University GSA. Even though I was never a student at any of these universities, I just was like, hey, what's up? And they were like, we don't care. Like, we're all communists. Like, we don't care if you paid. And then at CU Boulder, you know, I've been voted onto the board of the GSA at CU Boulder.
Nice.
I've been event coordinator for 2 years. And I've helped do the drag shows, and I have helped do queer formal and queer sex ed. And it's just what I'm really passionate about is just working in the queer community and giving back to the community. And I love doing drags. Like, I want to be able, in 5 years, hopefully I've like combined, I'm able to do that somehow. That's like my goal with all of this, is just giving back to the community and working in and with the community and trying to make it better and more positive and diverse and just accessible.
What are some things you're hoping to improve or grow in it with your drag?
For me personally, definitely my choreo. That's something that I've been working very hard on to improve, but it's hard because I'm very uncoordinated. I'm also dyslexic, so I don't know where, so like I don't know where any of my body parts are at any point in time. I don't know my rights from my lefts. Like, it's but if I do something enough times, I can get it, you know, like if I just repeat.
Yep.
I can do it. Like, I taught myself the Charleston step, and I'm very, very proud of that.
I saw that in that video. It looked great. Yeah.
Thank you. I worked very hard on that, and because I thought I for sure couldn't do it, because again, I don't know I don't know how to move my feet. Like, my brain's not connected, but somehow, like, there's a moment it clicked, got it. But I think choreo is definitely something big I need to work on. It's something I definitely want to improve on. I also feel like I need to be more creative with my looks as well. It's hard. Creativity is hard sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I spent a lot of time on Pinterest, just like looking at drag inspiration. And yeah, those are like my big things, is like my choreo. I'd also like to do more with like cinematography and like that sort of stuff, because I don't know a whole lot about that. With like in the context of virtual drag, because I actually have like a pretty strong background in video editing, because my brother and I used to make YouTube skits.
Oh, nice.
And I did all the editing, and then like my mom's friend had me help him edit a documentary. So like I've got a pretty decent, so like if I have the editor in front of me, I know what to do with it. It's also just like really validating too as an artist, just like people see potential in my art, and that's huge, because I'm an artist and a writer, but I've had a really hard time, you know, getting seen as an artist and a writer, you know, because I've tried, you know, sending my book off to agents and things, and, you know, I've posted my art online, and it maybe gets a couple of hits, and like, which is fine, because like I don't do these things because I want internet attention. I do it because I love it. But it's also, you know, it's a little upsetting sometimes that no one sees something that you put so much work into. And then I decided to do drag, and suddenly I'm being seen. You know, I'm winning things for the first time in my life based on my own merits. Like, you know, people are asking me to be part of shows, and I'm doing Limelight, and just like I feel seen and validated, and just like the effort, the work is finally paying off. So I'm just really, really excited for just drag in general, and just this whole, all of it. Just, yeah.
That's awesome, and it's validating for us to hear that from you, because that's our whole goal, is to help. Well, you shine a light, limelight. Cool. But you shine a light on all these artists, because drag is exploding in popularity and recognition, and there's far more people wanting to get involved. The stage, as it were, at the bars and clubs is never going to be able to show all of them, let alone in any meaningful way or frequently enough for them to feel validated, more than, oh, once every 2 months I finally got into a show. So that's part of what we want to do, is we want to help all these people get seen, because there's more than one way than performing at a bar or nightclub to be seen and to create your art. So we're hoping to be another platform in which to showcase artists, and that's awesome, because everybody's got such different talents and passions that they bring to it, and so let's see it.
And something with virtual drag is, like, I'm disabled. I have scoliosis, and it's hard sometimes doing live shows, because there's a video of me doing my Charleston step in my the Ghouls and Gays video, and then there's the one of me doing it for the one I did for the competition, that I did that same song, and like you can tell it's so much tighter and like cleaner in the second one, because I was able to reshoot, and I wasn't standing on a stage shaking, and like my feel like my hips and my knees are gonna give out on me.
Yeah.
It's sort of more controlled, and I can, if I'm having a bad back day, I can not shoot, but right. if it's show day, it's show day, it's so it's a lot. It's a more accessible form of drag.
Yeah, and also part of it is not just because that the live performing is what we've all been conditioned to think. That's what drag is. Just like we all used to think drag, we only knew of drag queens, so we only thought drag was about males impersonating females, and and there's drag kings, so that's the inverse. Okay, so we've got these two things, but now drag is rapidly evolving into just its own art form that is not myopically limited to gender flip-flopping. It can be literally those two extremes and everything in between, and all of it is valid, all of it can be seen, but the stage shows are only going to want to see a couple varieties of it, and that's it, because it's palatable to the audiences. And the other not downside, but one thing that live performing will never really give us insight to is who the artist is underneath the drag. You may get if they're a host, you may get a whiff of their personality, but we don't know whether that's their drag personality or their personality. Sometimes it's the same. Like in my case, my drag persona is Brock and Alnite. It's me, just with some layers of spackle. But for other people, it's a way to explore personality traits that they don't normally express. But digital drag, and that's why we're doing these interviews with Limelight, is we want to also peek behind the makeup and find out who these people are under their costumes and everything, because those are stories that are valuable to our fans and audiences as well, not just what it is we bring to the performance itself, but it's who is it who's bringing that performance, put so much more meaning behind it, I think. So I want to thank you for sitting through all this. Yeah. I'm looking forward to putting your project together. So that's your homework. Maybe like specifically storyboarding what it is you are thinking about, and we'll get together again and start hashing those details out too.